USC win-loss predictions. Missouri State win. Next. Georgia Southern win, but the Fighting Clay Heltons, they're going to hang around in the fourth quarter. At Purdue win. They've got a long rebuild ahead. Michigan State, this game's close. USC gets it done, fixes their fourth quarter struggles from a year ago, but Aiden Childs has a big game. Don't sleep on Jonathan Smith in year 2. At Illinois, that's a loss. That stadium's going to be rocking. Michigan, that's a win. Bryce Underwood's still going to be settling in, and it's a revenge game for USC for what happened on 4th and short last year. At Notre Dame, that's a loss. I need to see a lot more from USC's front seven before this is a win. At Nebraska, another loss. Dana Holgerson, now the OC, year 2 with Raiola, that could be dangerous. Lincoln's about to be rocking for that game. Northwestern, win. Iowa, that's a win, but I see that as like a defensive struggle. Call it 13-9. At Oregon, up in Autzen, that's a loss. People are sleeping on Dante Moore. I think he's gonna have a big year. UCLA, that's a win. It's gonna be one of those like save the season type wins that keeps the vibes high for bowl season. That means the USC Trojans go 8-4. What are your thoughts on that?
Welcome to the Put On Waivers Media Group, home of the Put On Raiders podcast and the Student Body Right podcast. This is your place for the best breakdowns and the best insight for those who fight on and bleed silver and black. Now, here are your hosts, Dwayne Douglas and Ryan Holmes.
Max Brown, I think he works for Big Ten Network now, and he is he gave a little quick synopsis of what he thought the season schedule is going to be. So I'm going to throw the schedule on the screen right now for you guys, so you can kind of check that out and see what that is here. So there it is. So obviously the first four games are a must. He did talk about maybe the Georgia Southern game being close in the fourth quarter. I don't know about that part. But then at Purdue, Michigan State at home, and then you got at Illinois. I kind of look at this schedule and I say to myself, this schedule is about 4 particular road games. It's about at Illinois, it's about at Notre Dame, it's about at Nebraska, and it's about at the Ducks. So in his 8-4, picking the Trojans to go 8-4, you basically have them losing every one of those games. So all the stuff they did in the offseason, all the stuff they did, whatever. I mean, the new coaching staff, the new additions to the coaching staff, all the things they've done. It's not going to matter. They're just going to lose. They're going to lose all 4 of those big games. And I get it. They were not good on the road. They didn't finish on the road last year. So they're trying to. You have to sit back and say to yourself, they have to kind of show improve on the road. I'm interested to see what they do with that first game against Purdue, because Purdue's football team is supposed to be really bad this year, and they're predicted to be the worst team in the Big Ten. So I'm looking forward to see what they do in that game, just to see if they can just hammer home. Can they pay attention to detail and just smash three bad opponents again, three consecutive bad opponents in a row. I mean, because when you talk about Missouri State, Georgia Southern, and then Purdue, those are 3 bad football teams that USC needs to take care of. And then you have Michigan State in the Coliseum. Used to be the former head coach of Oregon State. He knows the Trojans. They have a quarterback. In Child. So you got to kind of see how kind of measure and stick up. Like that's their real first like game against a semi-quality opponent, a competent opponent. And then after that, they go at Illinois. But again, I don't know where I'm going to side, whether I'm going to go 9-3 with USC or go 10 wins with USC this year. I'm kind of still doing my research on that. But if they do what Max Brown said, that's just not good enough. That's not nothing. Because yes, you're going to be 8-4. It's an improvement from 6-6, where they should have been 6-6 in the first place. But I see your point. Then you have the tremendous recruiting classes. Let's just say 2 or 3 two or three people got picked off in that recruiting class, but you still got that whole horde of guys coming in for that recruiting class. You got a new quarterback. You're losing Lane. You're losing Makai Lemon to the draft. So you're kind of like you're building a really young team, and that team is probably not going to be. They're going to be super talented, but are they going to be ready to go toe to toe and be able to win immediately? You're probably looking at 2000. If they don't make the playoffs this year, you're probably looking at 2027 Trojans. And how long we're supposed to wait? Then we're talking about year 7 with no playoffs. Well, I can rally. I mean, this team is the secondary is young in spots, but they have two really good safeties. They have talent at the linebacker position. The edge is the part where we got to see somebody has to, whether it was Cameron Fountain, or whoever, they have to find somebody to kind of step up to be that guy in the on the edge on third down to go get the quarterback. But at the end of the day, this team is, they have more depth on the defensive line than they've ever had in a long time. A quarterback who's second year in the system, all these things like that are really talented. One of the best talented, most talented running back rooms that USC has had under Lincoln Riley as a full room. I mean, I just think 2-2 is feasible there. At Illinois, at Notre Dame, at Nebraska, at Oregon. Can they go 2-2? Now they will probably go 1-3 in those games, but they have to win. They have to win. Well, they gotta win. They gotta win a couple of those games. They can't go 0 for those games, and then everybody says, okay, fine, we're back USC. They have to win one of those games, and preferably 2. And I'm sitting there saying to myself, they should be able to go 2-2 in those games. The Notre Dame is kind of effed for USC because it's coming right after the Michigan game. It comes immediately after the Michigan game. So you play Michigan at home. Michigan is going to be physical. You have two really physical teams back to back that you're going to play. Actually, 3 in a row when you look at the fact that you play on the 27th you play Illinois, then you have a bye week, and then you play Michigan. So I think they'll be ready to go for Michigan, especially what happened last year. And then you sit back and it's coming off a bye week, so they have time to prepare, heal some wounds, everything like that, right? Then Notre Dame, and this is the game, and this is the part where I say this once, I say 1,000 times. This is where kind of playing Notre Dame is just not. It stinks. And people say you're running or stuff like that, whatever. It was fine to play Notre Dame when we're in the Pac-12, but now that we're in the Big Ten and they're never going to join the conference, like this game. They can go 9-3, and this game could be the game that keeps them out of the playoff because that could be their third loss. So however you want to run it, I mean, I would have no problem telling Notre Dame, hey, listen, you join that conference, we got you back, man. We'll play you. We'll play you every year, whenever you want. We'll go there in the cold if you want. But this is where they get to skate. They get to chill and skate and just come in and dip out of people's schedules. Because this would be it's a favorable schedule now. If you don't take Notre Dame, if you take Notre Dame out of it, then it's even more of a favorable schedule. Listen, like Lincoln Riley, they didn't go after Nico when Nico was a free agent or ready to transfer from Tennessee. They said we got our guy in Jaden Mayava, so that was a choice. So Jaden has to be ready to go. Jaden better be ready to go because this is a team that needs to. They need to. I know 8-4 won't have them lose a bunch of recruits. I don't think, but at the end of the day, like how many years we waiting for this? for this USC run. We're almost getting to the end of if we would sit there and wait till 2027, we're talking about waiting until the end almost end of Lincoln Riley's contract. Illinois is good. They're not all-time great. Notre Dame's good. Not all-time great. This is not Oregon's good, not an all-time great team. Nebraska is in their building, in their element. That's a hard place to play. Those folks have nothing to do but, grab some corn and make sure they're ready to go watch the Cornhuskers play in any sport. But when I'm sitting there saying that, we're throwing accolades against Notre Dame, throw accolades towards playing at Nebraska. It's like, bro, like, really? Like, really? They're not a big time team. Tony White is a fantastic defensive coordinator, so that's where the game could spin on its head. But Dylan Raiola, you want to talk about a quarterback who needs to show people something? Like, doesn't he need to show people something before we go crazy about Dylan Raiola? I'm just saying, he's not incredibly mobile, has a good arm, he's just erratic. And I get it, he was highly touted, but he's erratic. So until he shows he's not erratic, then I don't know. And the quarterback for Illinois, very solid. In the comments, people point out to me that they had struggled scoring last year, and they had an easy schedule. It seems like everybody, when you break down some of these schedules, it seems like everybody has an easy schedule, except for USC. I think it's a manageable schedule. I don't think it's necessarily easy at all. But I said you play four ranked teams, and by the time we play Nebraska, if you look at Nebraska's schedule, which is very, very putrid, they could be playing 5 because Nebraska is their schedule is it's just a joke. It's really easy. So again, I'm gonna probably pick him to go to the playoff this year, and not being a homer about it. I just feel like they have the ability to do it if they play a certain way. But the thing about it is, if it's not this year, then you're waiting to 2027, folks. Or 2028, that's what you're literally waiting for with USC. And Dayton Lynn will most likely not even. Dayton Lynn, I want to take advantage of these Dayton Lynn years, because Dayton Lynn is not going to be there much longer. He will not be at USC very long. He's talented. We had to pay extra money for him to go to pay extra money or do what we had to do to make sure he didn't leave and go to Penn State, which is his alma mater. So 8-4, if they go 8-4 and they lose at Illinois, at Notre Dame, at Nebraska, and at the Ducks, then I don't see. To me, that's not progress at all. If they lose all those games, they're not going to be able to hoist their helmets and say they won a big game. They're not going to win a big game this entire season on the road. They're going to lose every single road game. And now listen, they lost all of them last year, so I'm not gonna. So I get it. They have to. They got to show you. I don't count them beating UCLA at the Rose Bowl. That's not a real road game. They lost every road game they played last year. So I get it. Law of averages. I think SC has to. They have to show they can win at least. They got to win 2 of these games. That's where the season lies. I think USC has a I think they have a tremendous opportunity to go undefeated at home. You look at Missouri, Missouri State, Georgia, Southern, the Spartans at home. Michigan is the biggest opponent they play, and then you have Iowa, who has a good defense, but we still know what their offense is going to be from year to year. It's usually pretty bad. So that's just something you think about, and then obviously got UCLA, and I think UCLA has a puncher's chance of making any game close because they've improved dramatically on their quarterback side, and that game is always a crazy game. So, maybe they lose a game at home, but I think they do have a chance to go undefeated at home. And then you're almost there. They have to start making, especially in the Coliseum, they have to start making the Coliseum a feared place to play again. They have to make that building just very difficult to play in. And that's we can't be having hey, I go to Northwestern, I go to Iowa, I want a trip to California late in the year, so let me let them fill the stadium like that needs to be they need to find a way to get that thing going over there at SC home games were a little bit where they had more energy. They were live there, but they still lost at home to Penn State. A game they could have won. A game against Notre Dame they could have won. They're still not peak SC in that building. So whatever they gotta do to get that thing popping over there. I'll be there for a lot of these home games, but they need to get that thing going. But like I said, I think they have a chance to go undefeated at home. And then, like I said, 2-2 is that's what good teams do. That's what, that you can't just sit there and just go. If they go the Max Brown route and go 8-4 and lose all 4 of those games, that's just brutal. If they get to 8-4 and win a couple of those games, then that will show a little bit more progress. But again, if you don't make the playoff, this is the thing about USC. If they do not make the playoff this year, when is that shit gonna happen? Because you're probably not making it next year. That freshman class is not taking you there. Usually, I mean, you're asking a lot for those freshmen to do that. They'll probably take you there in 2027, and then who knows if they don't do it then. We're in year 8, year 9, whatever year we're talking about. I'm looking Riley. He needs to. If they got to overachieve in one of these games on the road, he got to. That's why he's getting paid, $10 million a year. Find a way. Got to find a way. All right. Student Body Right USC podcast. We'll be back. We got a show about Lincoln Riley and what he needs to do this year, and then we'll break down these opponents, obviously, and then the position group. It's my favorite part of this offseason is breaking down the position groups for USC. And we'll do that coming up in the next couple of weeks. So try to get on. We'll get on the schedule where we get a show almost every day for you. Now that things are slowing down, I can really concentrate on some things for the SC show. So we will take it from there. All right, Student Body Right, fight on.